Hello everyone, Sebastian here at Champion Helmets, and today we'll be comparing two siblings, the RPHA-90 and the I90. So, the RPHA-90 is HJC's premium touring helmet while the I90 is the budget version. But what are the key differences here and how does their performance differ? Well, first off, they differ a lot in price. The RPHA-90 comes in at a recommended retail price of almost 480 euros, around 530 US dollars, while the I90 is at a substantially cheaper 260 euros or approximately 280 US dollars. So, prices aside, let's take a closer look. Just a quick note before we get started, if you wanted to check out some of our reviews on the RPHA-90 or the I90, make sure to head to our YouTube channel where we have full reviews. Now, for a few general specs on the I90, since it's the budget version of the RPHA-90, it's made of polycarbonate, but it does come in 3 shell sizes, which is good. This helmet does come in at a bit heavier, 1,720 grams. The visor comes with pin lock in the box, and you've got the same vent placement here on the chin, in the brow, and the exhaust in the back. The liner is also removable, washable, and antibacterial, and the helmet closes with a micro ratchet system. This helmet is also modular, picks up with one hand just like the RPHA-90. This helmet also comes prepared for HJC Smart 10B or 20B comms unit. So let's see how the two helmets stacked up. Just a quick note before we really get driving to let you know about our measurements. On the left here we have the helmet's internal temperature in degrees Celsius measured through a thermometer in the top of the helmet. In the middle we've got a decibel meter giving us readings from a microphone placed by the helmet's ear. On the phone on the right we've got the average wind speed for the day, and lastly on the dashboard in the middle is our rider speed and the outside temperature. So, we recorded our data for the I90 while traveling at about 130 kilometers per hour with an outside temperature of about 14 degrees Celsius and an average wind speed of about 120 kilometers per hour. With our variables over with, let's take a look at how this helmet actually performed. We had pretty high hopes for this helmet considering it's related to the RPHA-90, and it didn't exactly let us down, though it was louder than we thought it would be since it came in at about 106 decibels, which is pretty loud. The helmet's internal temperature was about 14 degrees Celsius, which was approximately the same as the outside, which is pretty good. Unfortunately though, our rider found the helmet somewhat uncomfortable in terms of the liner. But before we give out all of our stars, let's test out the RPHA-90. First, just a few general specs for the RPHA-90. It's coming with HJC's P.I.M plus shell, combination of fiberglass, aramid, and carbon fiber. It comes in 2 shell sizes and weighs around 1,500 grams. The visor is anti-scratch and anti-fog treated, but there's also pin lock in the box, which is great. You're getting vents in the chin here and the brow, and it'll all come back out here through the back. The liner is removable, washable, and antibacterial, and the helmet closes with a micro ratchet system. Again, this is a modular helmet, so it just lifts up with one hand. It's also prepared for a communication system. So, with that over with, let's see how it does on the road. We unfortunately had to test the RPHA-90 in slightly different conditions, but kept as much constant as possible. So we still traveled at an average speed of 130 kilometers per hour on long stretches of highway, while the exterior temperature was 24 to 25 degrees Celsius, and the wind speed was about 130 to 140 kilometers per hour. In terms of performance, the helmet did pretty well. The helmet's internal temperature was about 24 degrees, so about a degree or 2 less than the outside temperature, which is a good result. The helmet also recorded a noise level of about 102 to 103 decibels, which is also better than the I90. We were very impressed with this helmet since it gave you premium quality while also being at a slightly lower price range. Without further ado, let's give out some stars. While the I90 was made of polycarbonate, which does make it a bit more budget, it does come in 3 shell sizes, so that brings us to 3 stars per material. The RPHA-90, since it was made of HJC's P.I.M, but only came in 2 shell sizes, gets 3.5 stars. For the weight, the I90 also did fairly average for a modular helmet, giving it another 3 stars, while the RPHA-90 was substantially lighter, giving it 4 stars for weight. For the visor, both helmets did quite well since you're getting a wide field of view, each has an integrated sun visor, and is pin locked in the box, so that's 4 stars. For ventilation, the I90 did quite well, so that's another 3 stars, but the RPHA-90 did just that much better, leading it to 4 stars for ventilation. In terms of noise isolation, the I90 did not do as well as hoped, giving it 2 stars, while this is where the RPHA-90 really shone, since it got a full 4 stars. Lastly, for comfort on the I90, our rider was not impressed, saying the liner did feel like an entry-level helmet and it felt a little bit large, so for that, the I90 is getting a further 2.5 stars. However, when discussing the RPHA-90, our rider was very positive about the helmet, so we gave it 4 stars for comfort. This takes us to an average total of 3 stars, which gives us 15 euros per star for the I90, which means this helmet gives you a decent value for money. But with the RPHA-90, you're getting an average of 4 stars, so that's 20 euros per star, which is also giving you a good value for money, since in this case, you're not only paying 5 extra years for that star, but you're also getting a helmet that performs much stronger, more consistently than the I90, and it gives you more. If you'd like to purchase the HJC I90 or the HJC RPHA-90, then make sure to head to championhelmets.com, where we have a lowest price guarantee and bundle deals. So there we have it. The I90 did pretty reasonably against the RPHA-90 since it comes with about 1 star behind. While the I90 suffered a bit in noise isolation, ventilation, and comfort, it is a more entry-level helmet, but this slightly worse performance does translate to a higher value for money at 15 euros per star, but this is also because it was less consistent across the board. While the RPHA-90 performed very well, it was very consistent, almost 4 stars across the board, and you're getting 20 euros per star. So it's really up to you. It depends on what sort of a rider you are. If you're a more entry-level rider, this helmet makes more sense. You are getting less frills, but it still performs reasonably well. While if you're a more advanced rider, this makes more sense since you are getting those frills that you're looking for, you're getting the same high quality, and it's more comfortable. If you liked the video, please make sure to subscribe and let us know what you think about these two helmets in the comments below. I'm Sebastian from Champion Helmets, and I'll see you next time.